I'd be like here in my office, all cozy, and in my computer having some tea. They were out there, like right now it's raining, and they're out there working.
Yeah.
Get the food out of the field. So I am very grateful that I am where I am. I'm thankful for the opportunities that I had, and I am also very respectful to the work that the field workers do.
Hey guys, welcome to CPA Primetime. Today we have Tania from A&T Tax, Payroll, and Bookkeeping out of Salinas. I am based out of Silicon Valley, the Bay Area, so very nearby me. But one cool thing that I just want to get across before we go into her origin story, how she started her office, the cool things that she's doing now, that type of thing. One thing that I noticed was, I went on her Instagram page and she had a little cool commercial. She had a little cool, some edits introducing the tax preparers that work with her, right? And one thing that stood out was she didn't have very many followers. And what I want to get across is, hey, that doesn't necessarily matter when we're doing just business all the time, right? Because I noticed her. I'm sure other people are noticing her. And I don't even know how many followers she had, but it wasn't like the guy with like 20,000 followers or 30,000 followers or 40,000 followers that I have on my show. But I just wanted to include someone with so few followers because she's doing pretty cool things, like that commercial that I saw on the Instagram page, coming on podcasts like this, promoting her brand, talking about it. So like, it doesn't matter like about the followers. It matters what you're doing to grow your business. So without further ado, Tania, let's get right into it. Tell the viewers, the people watching, a little bit about your origin story, how you basically, became an entrepreneur growing this office.
Hi, well, thank you for having me. Well, my name is Tania, and I started into the accounting world actually when I was in middle school. I am an immigrant from Oaxaca, Mexico.
Awesome.
Country when I was 14 years old, zero English, and I went straight into 10th grade without knowing a word of English. So
wow.
Very, very hard. And middle school, I studied in Mexico, and they had this technical class, which was accounting, and I liked it a lot. So, I finished high school. I actually wanted to become a nurse. So I did about six months of service at a local hospital here in the area. And I realized that that was not for me. I respect for all the nurses out there and doctors, but I thought that was very, very hard work. So my calling was actually the numbers again, and I actually come from a family of entrepreneurs. My parents own a bakery. They own their own business here in Salinas. My brother also owns his own bakery, and
nice.
So being immigrants, they struggle with the English and they struggle with the culture. So I found myself having to help my parents with a lot of translations and a lot of, just basic things. Sometimes even paying a bill was hard sometimes. So as they were growing their business, I was growing also as a professional. So I finished high school, went on to college to get my associates in business administration with an emphasis in accounting. I still wasn't sure if I was going to do that, but there was something special about that career that I just liked. I felt identified with numbers. I just liked them. So there was this class during the course of my studies. It was the tax preparation, income tax preparation. And out of about 30-something students, I was the only one who actually made that extra effort to get my bond and go on the CTEC website and get registered back in 2005.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, I found myself preparing tax returns for a couple of people, just people that I met. And just little by little, I started doing more and more and more. And I had a job. I got a job as an accountant for an agricultural company. We, you know, the Salinas Valley is a very big agricultural production here. So I worked for this agricultural company for about 7 years, but I was still doing taxes, you know, on my own and a little bit of accounting, playing with QuickBooks here and there, and still with my parents. And so, you know, it got to a point where I just couldn't continue having a job and having clients. So I know I went a little beyond my origins, but
that's perfect.
That's how the story went. And then, you know, I found that I had to become an EA because there were so many needs out there for the services. You know, there's way more things that you can do once you become an EA. And actually, I'm now trying to go back to school to become a CPA because, you know, the sky's the limit.
Right. Interesting. I mean, I love the immigrant story, right? I mean, my family was always in Texas, even our ancestors. So basically the US took over Texas. It used to be Mexico, right? So we didn't necessarily move. So I wasn't an immigrant. My dad wasn't an immigrant, but at some point we were, right? And I mean, I just meet so many immigrants here in the Bay Area, down in Texas, that come here to make a better life. And frankly, I mean, they come here and then put their children really in a spot to succeed. And I think that's incredible. We just had a guest, one of the best, you know, one of the most unlikely American success stories, right? And I'm sure, you know, you would already call yourself, you know, a success story for your family. So that's very, very cool. That's very interesting. And I think even my high school teacher, the way I found out about accounting, her name was Miss Gutierrez, right? And I didn't know what I was going to do when I left high school. But her accounting class, she was like, Juan, like, you know, the problems, like these accounting problems, like just major in accounting. It's basically your ticket out of poverty, right? A ticket out of the ghetto, right? So I want to talk more just about that immigrant drive, because that really fascinates me, right? Having sort of a chip on your shoulder to do very well, to work hard for your family. And I'm sure you know, from where you come from and the agricultural industry around Salinas too, I'm sure you know that accountants, they think they work hard, but like, this is
nothing like the field.
Yeah, come on, nothing like the field. You know what I mean?
No,
and so, no, feel free to talk a little bit more about that. I think that's fascinating, just that mindset.
Yeah, you know, just the immigration is just it's part of who I am or what I am. It's my story. Yeah, you know, my dad came to this country when I was born, about 33 years ago, and so he's been here actually. A big part of his life. And so, you know, little by little, all of us were coming. It took a while for us to get our immigration status fixed before we could actually get together with my dad. You know, he usually worked in the LA area, more like in mechanics. But the real entrepreneur was my mom. She was the one who has always taught us about, you know, working for yourself, and she did well, actually. Like I say, you know, my brother, also an immigrant, He has his own business. And then I have another sister. She works with media and video production, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you about another success story. It's my sister. She used to work in the housekeeping area in the Monterey Bay, and she also worked in Las Vegas for about 3 years at those fancy hotels. And so she worked for housekeeping for many years. And then one time she was out of work, and I told her that I had about 3 weeks worth of work for her, paying her minimum, because I was not very,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I was not a large company back then. Still small, but we're better than what we were back then. And at that time, she was actually going to school, trying to improve her English and improve just her knowledge in general, trying to get her GED. And working in accounting with me, it gave her a lot of motivation to continue going to school. Well, that was already in her head, but it helped her even more. Uh, she continued studying accounting, and now she will be getting her associate's degree in this coming summer. Yeah, so she was able to succeed by working with me in accounting, and that I call that another success story. And that's actually the one I like that story even more than mine, actually.
Awesome.
Yeah, because she's a single mom, very hard. But one of the things I can say, even though you have a limited English language, and you're a single mom and you're an immigrant, you can still do it. And one of the ways that I believe that she was able to do it and make it is by having that that opportunity to be able to learn the accounting, because this industry is very flexible. What I like the most about accounting is that you can work from home. Your schedule is very friendly, and so that's I wanted to share that story with you. And regarding the agricultural, oh wow, that's also very deep into my roots, because like I said, I worked for an agricultural company for 7 years, and I met a lot of the guys and a lot of the girls out there that are working and that put the food on our tables. And I respect them a lot, because the work they do is it's very hard. It's physically hard, and the long hours they have to work. I didn't really see it until I actually worked at that company.
Mm-hmm.
I could see how different it was for me to get there at 9:30 in the morning. They were already taking their lunch. And I'd be like here in my office, all cozy, and in my computer having some tea.
Mm-hmm.
They were out there, like right now it's raining, and they're out there working.
Yeah.
Get the food out of the field. So regarding the immigration, I see the difference. Because some of those people came to this country at the same time that I did, and we are in very different positions, and I am very grateful that I am where I am. I'm thankful for the opportunities that I had, and I am also very respectful to the work that the field workers do.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I mean, that's perspective right there, right? And like, look, guys, like if you're listening to this podcast and you even have like a much bigger accounting business right here, right? I mean, I would just say day by day, how big your business is, that doesn't necessarily equate to everything in life, right? And I mean, sometimes when you put things in perspective, you just feel so lucky. Like how did this happen? I'm so lucky. And
Mhm.
also, if you have any hopes of building a business too, that kind of gives you that thinking about what she just said right there, how hard they work out in the fields to really produce what you see on your table or even in a nice fancy restaurant that you go to. I mean, the blood, sweat, and tears to make your life comfortable. I mean, how could you not go out every day and work hard to then create a better life for your family, for your clients, for your communities, that type of thing? So that's something that's close to me too. That drives me is that you know what, I could have been working construction down there in Texas, right? I could have been out there in the hot sun getting sick to my stomach. Everyone gets sick down there in Texas just because it's so hot. You got to go and you work. They work till they die, basically. Like that's what happens. And I mean, accountants do think in some offices they do think they have it hard, but when you put things in perspective,
Yeah.
that's not hard work. Like, come on. My dad likes to say, well, it's like tough on the mind for you, I know, but like even then, like, come on, we're over.
It's a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot. When I actually have to do work, I just close my windows, turn off my phone, and I work for like straight 3, 4 hours, and then
Hmm.
get a nice break. So it's
Hmm.
most of the time. I mean, right now it's tax season. Of course, we're gonna work very hard.
Yeah.
After that, honestly, I relax a lot. I have a lot of time to, be with my kids, be with my husband, be with my family, and I enjoy it. I enjoy my
Hmm.
schedule. I enjoy having Saturday and Sundays off.
Right.
So I am really really thankful for that. And again, if anybody is just starting, I would tell them just keep on going. It might be hard right now. You may not have enough clients. I was there at one point, and I am still trying to bring in more clients or more revenue. Um,
Hmm.
but if you organize yourself, if you make changes in your life, and analyze what are the things that are holding you back, you can really create a great practice. Like I say, with the help of my sister, with the help of my husband, with the help of my employees, we are growing. You just gotta keep working, but again, accounting is an industry that it's very flexible time wise, and it's very friendly. So
Hmm.
I really enjoy it, and I would tell anybody to, they if they think that, like you said, if they think they have it harder, it really is. It's not that much harder.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, no, I love that. And even that's a nice segue into our next topic, which is marketing. So I'm interested. I saw, your commercial and what's on Instagram now, but talk a little bit about when you first started, how you first got your clients. That's always very interesting.
Well, first it was mouth to mouth. Some
Right, right.
other people, and well, I guess I was doing a great job because you wouldn't recommend anybody if somebody did a bad job for you. So
Mhm.
just little by little, people started coming to me. They would tell their cousin, their friend, their family member. That was back then before Facebook was all big. But I really didn't started doing a lot of marketing through the internet until probably about 2, 3 years ago. And oh boy, it makes a difference.
That's interesting.
It makes a difference. You are able to reach people that you can't even think of. I mean, just I met you right now. I wasn't even thinking about being on a podcast last week.
Right, right.
So before, and I would paint magazines, and sometimes I would do some radio, but I just stopped doing it because it just doesn't work like social media does now. This. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, and that's interesting. I think it's interesting what you said about word of mouth, right? Just people discussing how good you are, or you just even telling them how good you are, right? The other business owners. And so, what I think everyone does, where everyone gets social media wrong too, is they think it's so much different than 10 years ago, or what happened in the past, when really it's not necessarily different. It just makes everything that you used to do in marketing or used to do in word of mouth even 100 years ago, it just makes it so much stronger, right? Because I mean, Tanya here, she doesn't even really have to spend money on ads necessarily. If she wanted, she could just look up all the businesses around her and kind of just DM them on Instagram, just DM them, right? And that's what I suggest. So I work with accounting businesses that usually spend 10,000 to 200,000 on marketing in a year, right? But if you don't have a marketing budget, then you should be doing things like this, getting on a podcast or having some nice media on your Instagram page. Then because you have that nice media on your Instagram page, when you reach out to people on Instagram, they then see that media so that they're not wondering, hey, who is this reaching out to me, telling me that it's tax time, right? so
Yeah.
so I think no, I think those are things for smaller practices to think about that don't necessarily spend a whole bunch on money. Is that it's 100% possible to look up businesses now and then start that business relationship with a few messages online, whether it's on Instagram or LinkedIn, or I think Facebook groups within communities. Those are huge. So I mean, all those tips, I hope you take advantage of them, right? Because that's something that my smaller clients do, whereas larger clients, sure, they're ready to, you know, spend money on ads or spend money on traffic, things like that, and it all works. But the cool thing about accounting too is that it only takes a couple of accounts. It only takes you landing a couple of clients to, you know, start increasing revenue, right? So very, very interesting stuff there. And I'm also interested in how you got your media up there on Instagram. Who is making your media right now? I really like it.
Oh, well, his name is Luis. He is a small business owner. He's just starting. I met him probably a couple of years ago. And actually, I was talking to him the other day, and I told him, you know what, Luis, the reason why I decided to go with you, because there's other people around, but
Of
the reason
course.
I decided to stay with him was because he gave me a freebie. He gave me something
Mm-hmm.
I wanted. um,
Mm-hmm.
about 2 years ago, we do the rodeo here in Salinas, the California rodeo. So
Mm-hmm.
went to a mixer with the local chamber of commerce here. He was there as a photographer, and I said, "Well, I want a picture taken. That's what I want right now." Because
Yeah.
I dressed up, I was all glammed up, and I was 7 months pregnant at that moment. So and I was happy. So I wanted
Awesome.
that moment to be captured. And if you ask that photographer, he would probably want to sell you that picture or something. And
Yeah.
and so I asked him. I said, "Hey, would you take a picture of me?" And then he did it for me. And he was quick to send it to me and said, feel free to share it on Facebook or on Instagram. And so I did.
Awesome.
In fact, I'll go ahead and share it today again.
Awesome. Awesome.
And so, he gave me something that I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the reason why I stayed with him. His name is LC1 Productions. I believe he's tagged all over my videos.
Awesome.
Yeah, so he's the one making the magic happen. And And again, at the time when we developed that video, it took him some time to get it all together. He gave me the attention that I needed. Came to the office, spent some time doing the takes of the video. We spent some time recording. Again, I will upload some photos of the recording that was last week. And so he's basically a very, very small business owner. So again, he's exposing himself out there. He's gotten some business from this commercial and others that he's made. But yeah, I mentioned to that I was gonna have this meeting with you, and he was very happy.
That's awesome. That's awesome. There you go. I mean, yeah, no, I really liked his work, and I think you know, there's a couple lessons in there for all types of business owners out there. Number one is giving value, right? Like you said, I mean, most people wouldn't even ask a photographer for the picture because they're afraid that, oh, well, they're going to sell it to you after, right? They're going to be like, okay, we took your picture, but here, this is how much it is, right? So that was really cool that he did that for you. And I know with the content that I put out, and even like the freebies, free tactics I'm giving out from my content, I'm just trying to give out more and more value than any other marketer that is marketing accountants, right? And look, that's just gonna elevate my brand to a certain level where you have other businesses trying to say the same free tactics that I'm giving out, those same free tactics, even other ones that I don't necessarily support, they're in other marketing courses and programs that you can buy, right? So like I'm giving thousands and thousands away for free when I could lock it all up in a course. But of course, that's only to my goal, right? So I give out so much because I want to grow so much, right? And I make sure that, hey, it's not something where I'm mad when an office starts making $30,000 plus just from one of my free videos, right? Because that's the truth, right? He can't be mad when you take his free photo and then start using it to get business, right? So I think that's very fascinating, is giving value. But one of the questions I have for you is the posts that you're making on Instagram or even online. I haven't looked at your other profiles. I have a question before that, because I think this is a great site for you. And that site, since you do have, you know, satisfied clients, you've done business, that type of thing. Do you happen to have a Yelp?
I don't. Well, actually, I do, but
yeah.
The thing is, I have to do all the follow up and all the posts and all the work myself. So
right.
I have struggled to find someone to actually be on top of checking those things, you know, checking my Google ads or my Google My Business. See, I don't even know the words for some of this marketing.
Yeah, that's fine.
Says, I do have a constant contact account, but going back to Yelp, I have one, but I honestly don't check it because I just don't have the time. You know, I'd rather be doing books or working on things that are not related to advertisement.
Of course,
it's something important, but again, I'm pretty sure a lot of business owners will agree with me. It's hard to catch up with everything when you don't have help with that specific area of your business.
Yeah, exactly. And so one, I would say Yelp, if that was a focus too, and the focus being getting your current clients or people that you serve, just asking them to make a review on the service that they were provided, right? Those Yelp reviews, you start marketing those, and even put your Yelp in the bio. I think from, tax offices, that is what people want to see, because it does work for my clients. My clients, to where they have enough reviews for a Yelp, like it's crushing it, basically, because that's what people really want to see. We could put out marketing material all day long, but at the end of the day, they want to know, okay, what are you giving? What's the service you're giving, and what am I getting? Right? Is this tax shop that doesn't know what they're doing, right? That hasn't been around, that's gonna mess up my stuff, right? So
Yeah.
seeing that those reviews from other people, I mean, it's still been one of the best marketing things, regardless of all the things I talk about, like putting out content, just telling them how you do business, that type of thing, right? So I think for you, that's a insane opportunity, is just, having your reviews on Yelp and then marketing those reviews out. The second part of that is, I think business owners should get someone internally, right? Whether it's an intern, a small task, right? Or an actual salesperson dedicated to social media sales, right? And start DMing, start communicating with the businesses in the city, right? What are some of the top industries that you serve?
Restaurants. We serve restaurants,
Right.
mechanic shops, and like I mentioned before, agricultural. So,
Right.
and I really really like to serve organic small farmers. I
Awesome.
love them.
Awesome.
They I said it before. They work so hard, and we're millennials, so
Right.
I like to stay, trying to help the planet, and a lot of my clients are, so young people, young farmers that want to farm responsibly.
Mm,
So that's the majority of our clients are farmers, basically, but we also help restaurants and mechanic shops. And
mm.
I try not to make that even. I try not to serve a lot of industries. I'm trying to keep it simple, cost effective for me, and it's easier for my bookkeepers to stay know the industry. Although we're growing, a lot of contractors are reaching out to us now, so we're growing that now. For some reason, this year we gained a lot of painting contractor clients.
That's interesting.
Something in the air. Yeah. So
That's interesting.
yeah, and I want to tell them, what type of paint are you using? Is it environment friendly?
Right.
Yeah. So I would say those four industries are the main ones for me. It's farmers, first of all, organic farmers, mechanics, restaurants, and contractors.
Awesome. No, I think so. Right off the bat, I think even you just saying that, this interview is going to be up on YouTube, right? And I'll even send you the video file. But now what you can do with that piece, where you're actually saying what you serve, you can have that on your page, right? Then use the hashtags for the agricultural businesses around Salinas, right? The mechanics around Salinas, and the whole area around you, that type of thing, right? Use those hashtags, and then they might see. But what I would have, what is a person internally, whether it's an assistant or, hey, do this, we need more clients, right? Going out and actually sending that post or that message to the businesses Instagrams, or if they're on Facebook, if they're in some type of online Facebook group, like that's a great idea. But essentially, I think we're building new type of salespeople, where all they have to do is start creating that relationship online, and it makes it a bit more organic, when you're not necessarily reaching out with an ad, but reaching out and saying, hey, well, we want to know all the farmers in our area, right? Here's what we do. Of course, they bring us in to do
Right.
this, they bring us in to do that, but we just want to get to know you and start this relationship online, right? And hey, they might say, all right, well, we're ready to go right there, right? And then you have to educate them, onboard them as a client, or you just kind of you have them online and you're just rubbing elbows with them until they are ready to do business with you, right? And that's one of the great things about targeting, staying within the industries, keeping it to, 3 or 4 industries, right? Because you can start collecting followers in those industries. And then they say, oh, this firm is always talking about farmers. This firm is always talking about restaurants or mechanic stuff, right? So yeah, I think staying in a few industries and then training your staff to service those industries, a lot can happen when you keep those relationships, just at least rubbing elbows for a long time. If we need to sell, if we need clients right now, sure, we're a bit more aggressive as with our offering, right? But I learned this from some of my viewers might know him. His name is JJ the CPA, and so he has a firm in Oklahoma. He's been around for 20 plus years, and he said, Juan, the number one thing that grew my firm always, I mean, the older guys had bigger firms than me, but now I have the big firm. The one thing that grew my firm was always being just there as the second option to when someone else made a mistake, right? I was just always there, so because I was talking to them, right? So yeah, I mean, I think too many business owners, let alone accountants, try to come in and like it has to be about sales, like fast. Like I get that, we can do that too. We cold call even, business that we need right now, people that we need right now. But no, it's always a great idea to start establishing that presence. Like you said, they just came in like at one time, basically, right? And then, as you market and brand yourself, like that'll just keep happening over and over each tax season, each year, right? So, no, very, very fascinating. And one of the things too that I noticed with the photographer, the videographer that you mentioned, right, was that you said that there's other people that are able to do that, right? But you went with him because of the relationship that you had. Okay. What I want accountants to realize is it can be the same thing. Like it's almost the same thing for the accountants, because there might even be TurboTax for a simple return where they can even figure it out, like the business, but they might actually need an office, right? But then at some point, like other accounting offices that like to think that the accountant is going to go out of business, right? Or the EA is going to go out of business because of software. It's going to take too long to happen, because if you establish a brand within the community, then rather than having the software do it, I want to go see Tania, and I want to go to her office and have my returns done, right? Have my business taken care of by Tania, not the robot. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that is straight up brand right there. I want to have my business done by you, even though there's this, right? So, hey,
Exactly.
that's awesome. So I want to let you speak more about what you have going on in the future. Any plans to grow? And I think not. I want to grow my business like incredibly huge. I have some clients that want to grow like their business is so big, right? And then I have some clients that say, "Hey, Juan, we just need to grow this business for the next couple of years here." Right. So everyone has different goals. Feel free to tell the audience your goals going forward. I always think that's interesting.
Yeah, of course, we all have professional and personal goals, and I have a little family. I have a 13-year-old and 8-year-old girls, and I have a 1.5-year-old baby. And of course, I have my husband. So I want this business to be able to bring my family comfort. That's what I want for now.
Awesome.
Maybe for the next 5 years. Yes, I do want to grow it. I do have team members to help me do that. So professionally speaking, I first want to be able to pay them more. That's like my number one priority right now. I want them to help me grow the business so that me and my family are comfortable and they can get a fat paycheck.
Right.
That's what I want for them. For the next 5 years, I want to have that healthy growth for my staff and for myself. When my children grow a little more, and especially my little one right now, he needs me so much. I want to go crazy about this business. I want to millions, but for now, like you mentioned, we each have our individual goals. So that's mine for now. Because my little ones need me a lot. Need my time. They need my person. They're hugging them, cuddling them, and I don't know if you know my friend Maria Martinez, but she has this hashtag mommypreneur.
Interesting. Of course.
Yeah, and she's able to complete so much work and content. I don't know how she does it, but even after finishing all of her content, she still has time for hugs and for her babies. We have similar family. She also has 3, I believe, but I don't know how she does it. For me, it's a little hard because I like to drop them off at school. I like to pick them up from school, and they have different activities after school. So balancing all that, mommypreneur, family, business, professional goals. I mentioned I want to become a CPA. Again, that's not going to happen in the very near future, but I also don't want to just forget about it because that's something that it's in here, and but I do want a healthy growth for my business. Within the next 2 years, I want to grow $500,000 at least. We're getting close, but that's where I want to be, and I want team members to get. I want them to look at their W-2 at the end of the year and say, yes, it's worth. It's worth staying here. And I want them to share. Whoever is in my team, I want them to share the same vision that I have. And for now, my vision and my mission is to help taxpayers stay in compliance with the tax law by explaining to them what's under tax return, and help small business owners understand their accounting, understand their financial reports, understand what goes on the profit and loss, what goes on the balance sheet, and why it's there, so that can help them budget and just prepare for tax time. That's my vision. I've been trying to put it in less words, but it's kind of hard.
Of course.
Yeah, it's hard to put it there, but that's my mission for the next 2 to 3 years. Growth healthy. I don't want to go crazy and make all this $1 million in a very short period of time, because I know that with great power comes great responsibility. And again, for me, family is first. My health, my mental health is first. And and I want to be able to help as many people as possible. Again, stay compliant and understand why if they have to pay taxes, understand why they have to pay taxes. If they're getting a refund, why they're getting a refund. Because it's nice when you're getting a refund, but there may not be the best thing.
Right. Right.
And not everybody understands that. And you know what? It's not the taxpayer's fault.
Of course.
Responsibility as tax professionals to explain to them why they're paying what they're paying, why they're getting a refund of that amount, and same thing with accounting, why are these numbers on your profit and loss? Why are these numbers on your balance sheet? So that's my mission. Bigger paychecks, healthy growth, and family.
I love it. I love it. And I mean, I'm just speechless because I have so much respect for motherpreneurs, mompreneurs. I have a client that is a single mother with a toddler, and she is incredibly busy. I think she took off Fridays all last year. I think this year she's not taking off as much, right? But she's trying to get her team to do a lot of the work, right? So that she can go back to having her Fridays. But it is a flexible thing being an entrepreneur, right? It's what do you want? What do you want this year? What do you want next year? And so I like how you strategically architected that vision out, right? To make sense for what's most important to you. I mean, your family, right? It's not, it could be millions, like when the time is right, right? But I believe setting that foundation too, it's very important. And if you're not happy, like let's say you're never seeing your family, if you're not happy, then everything is going to go, your mood is going to go, right? Your business is going to start, bad things are going to happen. But one of my guests said, happiness equals success. And that's all that is. We could lose our business tomorrow, but happiness equals success. So, hey, family, that's my first thing. So yeah, as long as my family is healthy.
Exactly. Yeah. For me, I see my older one, my 13-year-old, and I'm like, where did all the years go? I wish I could have more pictures. I wish I could, go back and cuddle when she was little, but she's not. So now I'm trying to enjoy the now. Enjoy what's going on right now.
Enjoy the now. Love it.
Yeah, and then there has to be a balance. I'm a Libra.
Okay.
So I try as much as I can to balance, because I also, they have to understand that there's work, so both things have to work out. For example, Sunday, yesterday, a lot of people, don't work. It's a family day, and I understand that, and I try not to work on Sundays. But, tax season is coming up. We all have to get together as a family, go to the office, and, we were stocking client letters that we're going to send out today. And so, I also asked them to help me. My 8-year-old and my 13-year-old, they're old enough to do little tasks here and there. And to me, that will help them understand that, having the business is not, it's not just having the business and then the money's gonna come by. They like to buy fancy stuff sometimes, so they have to know where that money's coming from. And that's another big thing about having your own business, and especially a business like this, because they come here, they get the Wi-Fi. They get I have a comfortable couch here in my office where they can sit down. But I do make them help me out with some tasks that are, of course, not very hard for them, like stocking letters and stamping, putting the stamp on letters that are going out, postage on letters, little things like that, So that's bonding right there. So we are able to grow that way as well. Just real fast, let me tell you a story about when my parents had the bakery. Well, they still have it, but I remember one time my sister, the one that is helping me now here in the office,
Mm-hmm.
she had her baby, and I remember that time. There's flour everywhere. There's like machines going on, and she was carrying her baby, breastfeeding right there at the baby. So I remind her of that, and I tell my little ones about those moments where you are very lucky to, because they complain sometimes. They're like, oh, why do we have to go to the office? Or like, let me tell you the story again for the 100th time. And we could be somewhere else. We could be at another type of business that is, where the place is not comfortable. And so family, again, it's a very important part of the business as well. So one more time, I'm very grateful for being able to be here. I have a heater in here right now going on, and it's very cold outside. You're in the Silicon Valley, so it's probably out there as well.
Right. No, that's a perfect way to finish off this interview. I have so much respect for that again. And so, I mean, keep going. I'm sure we'll be in touch. This will be out there online. So excited to get your story out. And for the viewers at home, where can they find you? Where should they follow you?
I am on Instagram as AT_tax. On Facebook as AT Tax Payroll and Bookkeeping. And I don't know what other information should I share. My phone number. Perfect. Oh, I have a website. It's www.atarvizu.com. I'm sorry. It's my husband's last name, and it's hard to pronounce.
I'll link it below.
Thank you. And then I'm in Salinas. I do have a hashtag that I started using this year. It's hashtag #TaxTimeSalinas.
Okay, awesome. Love it.
Thank you. I try to use it as much as I can.
Perfect. Well, thank you for coming on the show, Tania, and that was awesome.
Thank you, Juan. Yeah, let's stay in touch.